When Jack Landry applied to Gordon College in the fall of 2019, he never imagined that he would be packing up his dorm room and moving home after only 2 weeks on campus. This fall, Jack and his peers found themselves in the difficult position of choosing how to continue their education in a world turned upside down. At the same time, their instructors were forced to quickly learn to manage a classroom of students both in the room and around the world. Jack put a lot of thought and prayer into his decision to live on campus for his freshman year. He made a list weighing his options, and at the time he felt that living on campus was the best choice for him. Upon arrival, his initial assessment began to feel incorrect.
Honestly, it kind of felt like they pulled the rug out under me.
Professors told him they would be unable to meet in person for office hours due to campus protocol. His schedule changed from mainly hybrid classes to fully online courses, and the second floor of his residence hall was quarantined after exposure to the virus.
I think once I had experienced it, I knew both sides of things, and I knew what it was going to be like to be home and be on campus. So I knew that the on-campus learning was hindered.
Chris Landry, Jack's older brother and fellow Gordon student, felt that the lack of clarity regarding life on campus made it difficult to make a choice. While he initially decided to live on campus for his junior year, he quickly came to regret it.
When I got to campus, most of my classes had moved online, either entirely or through a hybrid model, and I was feeling isolated and a little disappointed that my experience in the classroom was largely online.
After 2 weeks and with much prayer and the support of their parents, both brothers made the decision to return home and study remotely.
It's such a hard semester, and everyone just has to try and figure out what the right thing to do is for them. For me, that was going back home and studying remotely there.
But having 2 college students in the house has brought its own complications.
Yeah, we've been doing our best to work around each other, which can be tough during the day when we both have classes, meetings, and other obligations on Zoom.
Working together by communicating needs, finding new places to get assignments done, and being patient with the challenges the semester presents has allowed for them to work peacefully side by side.
I understand that there will be challenges for anyone this semester. I don't blame him or myself or the college for that.
For other students, however, coming back to campus was a much-needed return to some kind of normalcy. After contracting COVID-19 over the summer, Gordon Jr., Will Perkins, was eager to get out of isolation and back to campus and felt that the college's policies made it possible to do so safely.
So I think coming back I felt safe, but it was more so that everything seemed very, very strict, and rightfully so.
He returned to campus and strictly adhered to college guidelines, wearing masks, social distancing, and staying with his household. Even still, he contracted the virus for a second time. Now Perkins is worried about what would happen if an outbreak reached campus. He continues to follow college protocols in an effort to keep his friends safe and hopes that others will do the same. As for his education, Perkins struggles with the online and in-person hybrid model many classes have adopted.
I feel like if we were not half and half on Zoom, or if it was full online or full in person, I think there would be a better standard of education. As for my actual education and learning in classes, I think I've learned more from the books for the first time ever than I have in actual class.
Still, he does not regret returning to campus. He believes Gordon has done the best they can do, and he is making the best of things by safely spending time with those he cares about. For Matt Becker, choosing not to return to campus was never a consideration. A junior this year, Becker loves the community that comes with living and learning alongside each other. His experience has been largely positive.
I think they have a good balance of having protection for the students and allowing them to still experience college life.
His main concern is for remote students. While he feels that his education is continued as normal, the remote students in his classes do not seem to be having the same experience. Though professors try to include everyone and teaching assistants monitor Zoom chats for questions, Becker said that participating in discussions seems far more difficult for students participating remotely. As an English major, he feels that lack of connection is harmful.
Well, the whole idea of reading and writing is it provokes discussion. And that's a lot more difficult to do when it's not in person.
Professors, too, are learning to manage this new normal. Rather than holding class over Zoom or in the classroom, they now have to manage both. Meeting the needs of the students in front of you while not neglecting the students attending virtually can be a challenge, said Noelle Guerin, adjunct communication arts professor.
It can be really frustrating for remote students to watch a fully functioning in-person class and have to be watching it remotely. And that's been a lot of their feedback. And I think the majority of the challenge for me personally has been just making sure that they feel included and a part of the class.
Garen has enjoyed the return to teaching in the classroom, but wants to make sure that she does not allow remote students to slip through the cracks. She has her TA monitor the class discussion board for any class questions, and she makes a point to seek out distance learners for one-on-one Zoom calls to address their concerns.
It's made me try to think of creative ways so that remote students feel taken care of and reassured.
Garen has struggled to get full engagement from remote students in her classes and hopes to find a way to build the same connections with them that she has with students sitting in her classroom on Monday afternoons. Those relationships, she said, are what makes teaching worthwhile when circumstances get tough.
To me, the best part about teaching is building relationships with students and getting the most out of them and getting them to share. I think students that are remote are desperately looking for connection.
As the semester nears the halfway point, the work to make this unprecedented time in Gordon's history a fruitful one continues. While classrooms may look different, the passion Gordon has for learning and community continues to shine through their students, on campus and beyond.